Hey guys, Deathslander Magic here. It's time for more spoilers. Spoiler number 1, Kevin just invited me to a Pokemon raid. Be right back. Alright, Mega Gengar has been defeated, so now we can jump into the spoilers. We got Ramos, Dragon Engine. Yes, it's pronounced Dragon, not Dragon. If you think it's Dragon, you're either British or you also probably say envelope and coupon instead of envelope and coupon like a normal person. Can't wait to read the comment section on this one. So this is a 6-cost colorless, and you might have noticed that number 6 is dreadfully misaligned. What the hell happened there, wizards? That's like 3 pixels too high. Like, what did they do? Anyway, legendary artifact creature dragon. It is flying, it's 4/4, and whenever you cast a spell, put a 1/1 counter on Ramos. For each of that spell's colors, then remove 5 1/1 counters from Ramos, add a buttload of mana, 10 total, 2 of each color. Activate this ability only once each turn. So he's pretty damn powerful. And yeah, his only other version from 2017, $20, because people play this. Next up, Archelos, Lagoon Mystic. He's a 3-color, 4-cost, 2/4 legendary creature turtle shaman, and as long as he is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. And as long as he is untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped, including those of your opponents. That could be a problem. I like the suppression effects, but boy, are there better ways to do that. And his $2 price tag seems to be in agreement with me that this is not a very good card. Next up, Kinsbale Courier. It's a Kithkin, obviously, and 2/1 for 3, and when it enters battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and then encore 3. That's a nice little simple counter dumper. I think, you know, in the entire history of the Eternal format, so every card ever printed in the game, I think there are cheaper ways to put a counter on something, but encore is nice. Next up, we've got Fuego del Alma, or Soul's Fire. It's a 3-cost instant, and target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. So it's a not green pseudo force fight. I believe that was, before it started invading green in the last 2 years, actually a red effect originally. So yeah, damn good card here. Next we got a $25-ish reprint here. Hello, it's Faro del Dominio. Actually don't know where the accent is without the mark to tell me, but that is Command Beacon. So by the official rules of the game, you have to refer to it as Command Bacon, or you will be disqualified from the game immediately. So Command Bacon is, it's a land that comes in untapped. You can tap it for colorless, and if you tap it and sacrifice it, put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Which means you can cast it for its normal cost. Isn't that nice? So very, very, very useful card. Very much in need of a reprint. Next up, Poder del Alma. And that, of course, translates to Soul's Might. So it's a 5-cost green sorcery. Put X 1/1 counters on target creature, where X is that creature's power. So permanent, almost automatic double strike-ish for 5. It's good, but it's not that good for 5. Next up, we've got Tymna Bearclaw, which I guess is going to be Tymna in English, they're assuming. I don't know. That's the problem with these foreign cards. So it's a legendary creature without partner. So, okay, human warrior. And whenever Tymna Bearclaw attacks, she gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. And I know of a couple other creatures that work this way. So, I mean, I'd put him in at least a green heavy deck. Next up, we've got Regreso al Polvo. Oh, wait, this one's in English. Return to Dust. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast this spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. It's called Adamant. Just put it on the card. My God, why you gotta spell it out? They literally just invented this. It's already a mechanic. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a reprint, but they still could put it on the card. So I think this still isn't very good for 4, honestly. Next up, Fall from Favor. It's a 3-cost enchantment aura, enchant creature, and when it enters battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and you become the monarch. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step unless that player is the monarch. There you go. Tell everybody in the game to attack you because they get free monarch status for the first one to hit you, and then also this backfires and does nothing, thus turning a small disaster into an even bigger disaster. What a train wreck of a card. You could just use like any other blue spell to pin it down permanently for 3. That's ridiculous. So next up, we got everybody's favorite, Brago, King Eternal, which I was going to say, didn't he die, but he's his spirit. So obviously at some point he died, but didn't Kaya like super kill him? She's not a ghost assassin. She's an assassin that kills ghosts. Well, it's a reprint anyway, but I just think it's funny that, ooh, King Eternal, haha. Well, not for long, I guess. So Mr. Brags-a-lot here is a 2/4 flyer, and when he deals combat damage to a player, exile any number of target non-land permanents you control, then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So it's a hit and flicker. He is flying, so he might be able to pull that off. Pretty neat card. Next up, Rings of Bright Hearth. It's a 3-drop artifact, and whenever you activate an ability, if it isn't a mana ability, you may pay 2 generic extra. If you do, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. That is so unbelievably inherently broken, I'm not even going to get into how broken that is. You can clone devastating game-ending effects for 2 mana. That's ridiculous. But it's not that broken or overpowered. Let me just pre-reply to all you dumbasses out there. It's a $50 card. Shut the f*** up. I know calling everything, oh, it's weak. It's not as powerful as my deck. That's not up to my standards because I'm an elite level player. I know that makes you feel special inside, but keep it out of my comment section, you clueless know-nothing dumb f***. Next up, Anointer of Valor. It's a 3/5 for 6 angel flying, and whenever a creature attacks, you may pay 3. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Wow, that's not good. You could just drop in Luminarch and do it for free without swinging. For 2 mana, once. Luminarch's pretty broken. Anyway, next up we got Thrasios, Triton Hero. He's a 2-cost 1/3 Merfolk Wizard, legendary, and he has Partner. And if you pay 4, and you can scry 1 without tapping him, which is kind of uncommon. And then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, otherwise draw a card. Which is a little bit more, private and letting you still blindside people than just, play with the top card of your deck showing, and then if it's a land, you can play it. This is just like, okay, if it's a land, then show it, otherwise keep it to yourself, Plus, it is an opportunity to, just scry, like, oh, this isn't the card I need, bottom of the deck. Next up, Inspiring Roar. Look at that inspiring Shakespearean pose. I might as well just Photoshop a skull into his hand, but that sounds like it would take effort. Now I made the Kevin card. So anyway, it's a 4-cost sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Once again, to just illustrate how bad the power creep is in the last 2 years, there are way cheaper ways to do that. And on a recurring basis now in the game. Thanks, Wizards, for ruining every format. Next up, Vow of Duty. It's a 3-cost aura enchant creature. It gets +2/+2, has vigilance, and can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. That is hilarious. So, I mean, okay, you can give your own creature +2/+2 in vigilance. Great. Or you can strap it on an opponent's creature in multiplayer, and now they're just going to have to attack someone else. I mean, I guess not have to. They can just leave it, not attacking. But they can't attack you with it, and it's bigger and it has vigilance. So, like, why not? So you're just like, here, have this. Go attack one of my opponents. I love this card. How is this not in my commander deck? I'm going to go buy it. Wait, I should wait for it to be printed first. Next up, Vow of Flight. It's a 3-cost enchant creature. It gets +2/+2, has flying, and can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. I gotta say, if they don't need it on defense, this is a little bit better than just giving it vigilance on the ground. Pretty tasty. I'm glad that they're probably printing a full cycle of these. And in fact, next up we've got Vow of Lightning, which is the same thing but first strike. And next up we've got an absolute classic, Vow of Silence by Blindside. Fantastic. And looks like we don't have the remaining 2 spoiled yet. But next up it is Intangible Virtue. Oh yes, it's a 2-cost enchantment, and creature tokens you control have +1/+1 in vigilance. Oh yeah, this card is so famous and so underappreciated. I love it. If you're playing some kind of like Selesnya token dump deck, run this. Like, why would you not? Are you out of your mind? Next up, oh, I was wrong. They're just in the wrong order. It's Vow of Wildness. All right, so it's actually +3/+3 and trample and can't attack you. Okay. You know what? These are way out of order. I'm just going to fast forward. There we go. Vow of Torment. That's the final one, and it's Menace. +2/+2 and Menace. Very nice. I actually would have preferred that over Death Touch, so I'm glad they did that. All right, so actually next up we got Rakdos and Horror dos Tumultos, which with my vast knowledge of Portuguese indicates that this would translate to Senor Tamale Chef. So I guess now we have the answer to what Rakdos does in his spare time. He makes up some tasty tamales. So it's a 4-cost, but I mean, good luck with those colors. And then it's 6/6, and he is a legendary creature demon without partner. He's flying and trample, which is always pretty wild. You can't cast the spell unless an opponent lost life this turn, though. And then creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn, which is insane. I mean, if you just keep the damage going, you can keep the creatures coming. So if you play a very traditional Rakdos deck, this will absolutely kick ass. So this is a reprint from Return to Ravnica, and I am shocked that it is only $3.50. What the hell? That card's way better than that. Are you kidding me? I'd make that my commander. Anyway, next up we got Tymna the Weaver. You know, I don't mean to nitpick, but I bet you could weave a little more accurately with the blindfold off. Anyway, it's 3 cost 2/2, legendary creature, human cleric. It's one of the mythics. Oh boy, there's a ton of them in the set, like more than there should be. And she has lifelink, and at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you may pay X life, where X is the number of opponents that were dealt combat damage this turn. If you do, draw X cards, and then partner. Pretty interesting effect. I mean, really good recurring large quantity card draw is always good in Commander. I don't like cards that, like, influence me where, oh, I'll get a bigger benefit if I don't attack who I was supposed to. Like, if you want to go all out on one person because, you know, they deserve it, and you need them knocked out because they're being a jackass playing broken shit, then, oh, no, but I get to draw 3 cards if I attack all 3 people. Well, I mean, you should attack who you want to attack, you know? But then you lose the benefit. So I don't like that. Next up, War Room. It's a land. It's a rare. It comes in untapped. You can tap it for colorless. And if you pay 3 and tap it, pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity, then draw a card. So if you're running mono, yeah. If you're running 5 color, I'll be honest with you, maybe not. I mean, 5 life just to draw a card and you also burn 3 mana on it. I think there's better ways to do that. That does appear to be a brand new card, though, by the way, so do consider it. Next up, Court Street Denizen. Now, that's not a new card. It's a 2/2 for 3 human soldier, and whenever another white creature enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature an opponent controls. Love it. Such a good effect. Now, it just gets them out of the way. White is usually tap them, get them out of the way, and swing, and then blue is usually tap them and keep them tapped down for an additional turn. So it's not as good as you might think, but it's still good. I mean, you still can get rid of the best defenders and then just swing away and hit them, which is really good if you have lifelink. Next up, Null Collar. Ooh, that'll crash your program. It's a 2/4 for 4 Vampire Shaman, and if you pay 4, exile a creature card from your graveyard and create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. I know I sound like a broken record, but there are cheaper ways to do this. In fact, there's a couple famous cards that do this. They're not creatures, but, you know, whatever. Then we've got Thalissa, or something like that, Reverent Medium. 3/4 for 5, and Human Cleric. At the beginning of each end step, create X/1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn, so a token doubler. I mean, we all know, at least recently, Selesnya is the one that dumps out tokens like bonkers, but honestly, if you were to go either 3 color, black, white, green, or if you're going Spirit Tribal and you're going to throw in some tokens, this would probably be a pretty good include. Next up, Furnace Celebration. Oh boy, that looks like a hell of a party. So it's an enchantment, double red there in the triple cost, and whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you may pay 2. If you do, it deals 2 damage to any target. Oh, you could do some stuff with this, with leave the battlefield effects, enter the battlefield effects, like, what is that, Tremor Step or something like that? I will say, though, it's sacrifice, not just straight up leave the battlefield, so you can't do what you used to be able to do with, what was that, Dash or whatever, where you just run in and then return to hand at the end of turn. But in a Rakdos sacrifice deck, this would be wonderful. With the exception of the fact that if you're running a Rakdos steal everybody's shit and then sack it deck, you're an asshole. Next up, Promise of Tomorrow. It's a 3 cost amazing artwork enchantment, and whenever a creature you control dies, exile it. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no creatures, sacrifice Promise of Tomorrow and return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under your control. They should have called this card Insurance Policy, because that's what it is. This is amazing. It's like, well, you blew up all my creatures. Well, guess what? Haha, hi, I'm back. I mean, this would let you fully survive a board wipe and then even plus some if you had other creatures die in previous turns. This card is amazing. I mean, even something as simple as, oh, I chump blocked with my last creature. Well, here they all come back. And next up, we got Ghen, Arcanum Weaver. He's a 3 cost 2/3 human wizard, legendary creature, of course. Doesn't have a partner, though. And if you pay all 3 colors that are in his identity, then tap him, sacrifice an enchantment, then return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Well, those 3 colors are a pain to play around, makes it a little specific, makes it go in a very particular deck, but if you can pull it off, I mean, cool if you manage to somehow get a giant enchantment in the graveyard. I don't know, it's a little particular. I wouldn't exactly be making this my commander. And that is it for today. So, wow, a lot of just amazing power cards, unique stuff, you know, that is finally living up to, what's his face, Gavin or whatever said about, oh yeah, we just wanted very unique specific cards, not like, oh, everybody has to buy this right now, which he was, you know, lying out his ass, we all know that, but at least a couple cards from today, it's like, yeah, that's a very specific narrow thing, but it's neat and it's cool and some people might want it. That's a friendly way to design a set, but then again, they pretty much just, you know, broke it with that stupid Lotus. So, by the way, I wanted to outline something that he's getting roasted pretty darn hard about, which is he said, oh, it's just like Dark Ritual. which costs 1 black and then spits out 3 black. So it's a net 2 one time and it's an instant and then it's gone. In Commander, that is one of the top 5 most played cards in black. It's in almost 1 in 5 decks. So he's like, it's not very good because it's a one and done. Well, let me try to explain this to people here. Yes, you're losing a card. Yes, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Cool. Would you rather have one really powerful card that is just bomb-ass crazy game-dominating nuts, or 2 kind of mediocre cards, permanents, spells, enchantments, whatever? I'd take the 1 because, if you have 2 kind of mid-sized creatures, you can't swing into one giant bomb-ass crazy game-winning, beast of a creature. So you might as well put all your eggs in one basket and say, screw it, let's go, and drop in a really expensive commander, just get the game rolling. So in the right deck, that Lotus is so unbelievably broken. But like the average deck, or like one where the commander's not that important, the card's garbage, I wouldn't even put it in. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So it levels out and it's a fair card, right? No, absolutely not. That's like saying the Saheeli Cat combo is just fine as long as you don't play one of the 2 cards. Well, sometimes it's not completely broken, but sometimes it is. And I want to focus in on, with laser precision, the times that it's completely broken, because then it just ruins the game for everybody playing. You only need to win the game with some broken, degenerate bullshit once to really piss people off and ruin the game for everybody playing. I mean, it's that simple. So yeah, they really shouldn't have printed it. It's not nearly as good as people think, but in narrow circumstances, or in just the right deck, or in a highly competitive deck, it is so overpowered and broken that they never should have printed it. My number 1 beef with it is still that it's a greedy cash grab. Let alone fair play, let alone any other factors. And by the way, the community and the Commander players seem to be in agreement with me in that they've pushed it up from $160 to over $200 in 1 day. That's the going pre-order price. So him saying, oh, it's not really that good, it's really specific, and it's not even like, it's not a good card. Well, you're 0 for 2, dumbass, because Dark Ritual is a good card and so is the new Lotus. I mean, even if it was relevant in 5% of Commander decks, that's 5% too damn many, because I don't want their Commander out that damn early. It's really that simple. These people who work at Wizards know the least about the game in the entire community. I could name people who I know have only been playing the game for a year or 2 that are smarter, wiser, and would make better card design decisions and make better card assessments than people who have worked there for over 10 years, and that is sad. So I do have one last bonus spoiler, and it's that the Packers are going to the Super Bowl this year. Suck it, everybody. There's a spoiler for you to end on. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.
Wow, yeah, yeah! Because I want you to make your world!